Hey Radiant Tech team, this is just a quick video about how to kind of set up and run the Sling Studio console app that's found on the iPad for our live streaming on Sunday mornings. And so this is going to be very quick, okay? So a couple of really quick things. This assumes that you've turned on the Sling Studio hub, that it's solid blue, and that the iPad here is connected to its Wi-Fi that it's putting out called Radiant Sling, okay? So the first thing that you want to do here is it'll automatically create a project, but we have to go in and we have to tweak some settings here. There's also videos available in order to go through some of these as well, but you'll notice here that the project is already open. It's called live stream right here, and so I'm going to click project settings because we need to set up the live stream. We do something called Pro 30, 1080p 30 frames per second, 12 megabits per second bit rate on there. Shouldn't have to mess with that each week, but the thing you will have to do every week is click this live broadcasting button, and then we have to select a destination. We have to tell it, okay, where do we want the Sling Studio Hub to broadcast to? Now, you would think we would do YouTube or Facebook, but those are wrong. We're actually going to do custom RTMP because we use a third-party software called Caster right there. These should already be set up. These are just copy and pasted from Caster's website. So I'm just going to hit set destination here on the bottom because those shouldn't be interfered with, and then I'm going to hit the save button. And what that does is that allows me to now go live if I'd like. And when I hit this go live button here on the left, it's not going to go live to YouTube or Facebook yet. It's only going to go live to that that splitting software. Basically, it sends it to Caster, then Caster takes it from there, sends it to YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. So I can click this go live once I've added a video to my program. Program is basically what source are you seeing live right here, and that's on the bottom. Preview is the one on top here. So now if I click go live to Caster, that is actually sending live signal to that, okay? So a couple quick things. Always check the audio mixer. The only audio that we like coming through is HDMI 1. We don't HDMI 1 there, so that needs to be unmuted there at a good level. Same over here with project. We don't want any volume coming through our cameras. Okay, you'll have more cameras here. You'll have the side camera and then the additional camera. This is Keystone's main camera there. And then what we have here is the HDMI. So this is what's being presented from ProPresenter, from the computer onto the graphics slides, okay? So I'll walk you through that. For instance, right now on the screens, what you're seeing is this slide right here, black with white text, all right? Now, a thing that we do during worship is we do something, use something called chroma key, and I'm going to show you this real quick. I'm going to pull back, and what we do is we actually use this stream deck right here. I know the focus is probably out a little bit, but we use this stream deck. There's only 4 buttons that you need to worry about from now. This system will eventually change, but there's 4 buttons. This alpha button, okay, this GFX-A button right there, GFX-B button right there, and then this cut button right there. So there's only 4 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hit those all day and you're not going to mess them up, so feel free to play around with them. Okay, now here's a really brief description of what they do. All right, so this alpha channel, what's happening is not only are the lyrics being presented or being output to the screens in the middle, like we saw there. Right, so let me pull that up. Not only are they being presented right here, there we go. But what we can also do is we can also do something called the alpha channel. So there's another input that's making it lower thirds. And so picture this lower thirds right here that just appeared when I push alpha. Notice off, on, off, on. Basically, it's just text, and the rest of it is transparent. So white text, but all of this is transparent. So picture this. We have white text on top of this black slide. Okay, so remember we have this slide, which is a black slide with white lyrics. When I push that alpha button, it puts transparent text over the black right there. Okay, and so that's the first button you need to worry about, and that's how this is essentially how we get lyrics on top of the cameras. Okay, The next button that you need to worry about is this Graphics A and Graphics B. Now, Graphics A is that black slide that I told you. It could be a full screen image of an announcement slide and what have you. But sometimes you don't want the full screen image. You need to get that off. So in order to get the full screen image off that full black slide, I just switch it over to Graphics B. Okay, and when I did that, so this is Graphics A. See on the preview channel right there, it's on. When I hit Graphics B, that gets rid of it. It turns it to blank. But you'll notice it's still on our Sling Studio, right? It's still right there. And that's because all that did was put it on deck. So we need to move it from the preview over to program, and in order to do that, that's that fourth button, that cut button. Cut just switches between preview and program. It just switches between the two. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. You can push that. Okay, so if I want to go back to a slide or I want that full screen image, that's where I would click Graphic A or just cut between the two since it's on deck. So play around with these. These are the 4 buttons, the only 4 buttons you need to mess with. Alpha, Graphics A, Graphics B, and cut between the two. Okay, so let me show you real quick how to set up, once we have our alpha channel on here, once we have alpha on, so we want to have the lyrics right here. We want to have the lyrics showing on top of the camera image, right? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up something called chroma key. And here's how chroma key works. It basically, we're gonna tell Sling Studio here, this app, which part we want to make transparent so that we can put it on top of the other layer. So I'm gonna hit these 3 dots on the lyrics here, 3 dots. I'm gonna hit this button called chroma key. Okay, and that's gonna bring up this little text window here. And so when I hit use chroma key, that enables it. But this button right here is saying, all right, which color do you want to block out? Now, normally it's a green because of a green screen, right? But we actually want to get rid of all this black, so only the white text remains. So I'm gonna click that color selector, I'm gonna move it, and then boom, that changes all the black to transparent. That's what that grid is, that's telling us it's transparent. Then you have to come in here and just kind of tweak these sliders till it looks right. Just eyeball it, make it look sharp so that all of the text appears, so it's not jagged, but it's crisp, clean. Hit the save button, okay? And now you can see right here that's changed. So we only have text with a transparent background. So now if I were to click and drag the text on top of this camera image, you'll notice, boom, all of a sudden we have lyrics on top of the cameras, which is exactly what we want, okay? Now we don't want this, for instance, we don't want this when we have announcement loops going or we have sermon slides playing. And the reason for that is because we don't want all the black to be made transparent. Remember, we made all the black in the image transparent. We don't want that. So in order to do that, I need to get rid of chroma key. So the first thing I'm going to do is hit this X next to PGM to turn it off. I want to remove it, so I'm going to remove it from all. Okay, remove it from all sources. All right, so now I need to go back in to the 3 dots, chroma key, and then uncheck that box that I checked originally, hit save, okay? Now sometimes it's gonna throw you an error. It's gonna say, hey, you still have that HDMI 1, you still have that source on top of that, you need to remove both. And so in that case, you would just drag a camera source on both the preview and the program. Basically, it's like on a computer. If you have the file open in a Word doc, you can't delete the file until you close Word. It's the same thing. So get rid of the HDMI 1 on both your preview and your program. Again, this is preview up here, program down here, and that means you can then check those 3 boxes, go into chroma key, turn it on and off. A little bit involved, but with some practice, you'll figure it out. No problem at all, okay? The other thing that we use is something called picture-in-picture. So when the graphics are up, so again, it would look something like that, except instead of lyrics, it would be a picture or a sermon slide. We do this feature called picture-in-picture. And so while the speaker is speaking here, we click this button right here, this little side-by-side image, and then PIP, which stands for picture-in-picture, okay? And then it's saying, all right, drag and drop the videos that you want. So I'm going to drag and drop the slides onto that little one. I'm going to drag and drop the camera onto that big one. Okay, so you see how the slide is right there, camera feed's right there. I can then resize it. So we sometimes go about there and we adjust the cameras accordingly. Boom, and that's ready to go. Hit that checkbox. Now we have a picture-in-picture. And then if I want to switch the two, I can either, I just push this preview to program button, and then boom, we have sermon slides with the speaker who's usually speaking about right there, okay? Pretty easy to do. It just takes some practice learning how to mess with this alpha key and learn how to get really comfortable with this Sling Studio app, and it just takes a lot of practice, okay? So after that, after the service is over, after you've done all the slides and all the lyrics, you'd obviously unclick record. After the sermon's done, unclick live. You can stop broadcasting, that sort of thing, and make sure everything's shut down. The camera links are all turned off, the cameras are all turned off, everything's stored away, and nice and neat. So that was a really quick, really fast way about how to run Sling Studio console app for our live production. Thanks. Have a good one.